Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to this cozy little corner where stories come alive and where every life, no matter the age, carries wisdom worth sharing. Today, I want to share with you a story, one that could change the way you see wealth forever. It's the story of William Bill Harper, a man who didn't chase luxury, but quietly built lasting wealth by following one simple truth. Want to build wealth? Run your finances like a thriving business. While most people spend based on emotion, Bill managed his money like a true CEO. He tracked cash flow, cut waste, invested with strategy, and always asked himself, if my life were a business, would it survive? And the result? Not sports cars or mansions, but something far more powerful. Freedom, clarity, and a legacy his children could build upon. Wealth isn't about luck, it's about leadership. And the first business you must lead is your own life. So, are you ready to become the CEO of your financial future? And if his story touches your heart, leave a number 1 in the comments below as a sign of shared feeling. And don't forget to share this story with the people you love, because maybe, just maybe, it's exactly what they need to hear right now. In a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood just outside Nashville, Tennessee, 65-year-old Bill sat on his front porch, sipping black coffee. The golden hues of a late afternoon sun filtered through the maples, casting long shadows across the lawn. Bill, a retired accountant with a lifetime of financial lessons etched into his weathered hands, wasn't one for flashy displays of wealth. His modest ranch-style home paid off years ago, and his reliable old pickup truck spoke of a man who valued security over show. But when he spoke, his voice, a gravelly mix of Southern warmth and hard-earned wisdom, people listened. For many years, Bill has shared his insights with others, not for fame, but to help everyday Americans avoid the money mistakes that had once tripped him up. Today, his message was bold, heartfelt, and urgent. You don't need to start a business to get rich. Instead, treat your personal finances like the most critical business you'll ever run, because it is. Bill had seen the entrepreneurial dream seduce countless friends, neighbors, and even his own brother. In the 1980s, his brother Tommy sank every penny of his savings into a car wash, convinced it was his ticket to millions. He worked 16-hour days, slept on a cot in the back office, Bill recalled, his eyes distant. 2 years later, the bank took it all, broke his heart and his wallet. Tommy wasn't alone. Bill had watched colleagues quit steady jobs to chase startups, only to end up buried in debt. Restaurants folded, tech ventures fizzled, and boutique shops shuttered before their first anniversary. Folks see the headlines: billionaires, unicorns, overnight successes, Bill said, shaking his head. But they don't see the 90% of businesses that fail. Starting a business is a gamble, and the house usually wins. Bill wasn't anti-entrepreneurship. He admired the courage it took to build something from scratch. But after decades of balancing books for small businesses and managing his own finances through booms and busts, he'd learned a truth that cut through the hype. Wealth didn't require risking everything on a logo and a lease. You're already in business, he said, tapping his temple. Your household, your paycheck, your bills, your savings. That's your first and most important company. Master that, and you're building wealth on solid ground. Bill's message was inspired by the story of a friend, Carla, a single mother. She shared, "I'm tired of the same old advice. Start a side hustle. invest in crypto. I just want a different perspective on my money." When Bill heard those words, he felt a deep sense of empathy. He'd been there in his 20s, overwhelmed by financial jargon and get-rich-quick schemes. Now, with the clarity of hindsight, he wanted to offer Carla and millions like her a perspective that had transformed his life. Run your personal finances like a thriving business with the same tools, discipline, and vision that drive the world's best companies. Every business, from a lemonade stand to Apple, relies on 3 things to stay alive, Bill explained, leaning forward, his voice steady but passionate. An income statement, a balance sheet, and profits. That's the foundation. And you can use those exact tools to build wealth right in your own home. He wasn't talking about complex spreadsheets or Wall Street wizardry. This was about clarity, control, and consistency. Principles anyone could apply, whether they earned $30,000 or $300,000 a year. Number 1. The income statement. Your budget is your compass. Bill's first tool was the income statement, or as he called it for households, your trusty budget. He grinned, remembering his early days as a newlywed in a cramped apartment, sitting at a wobbly kitchen table with his wife, Ellen. "We were broke as a joke," he said, chuckling. "But every Sunday, we'd pull out a notebook and write down what we earned and what we spent. That budget kept us from drowning." For Bill, a budget was more than a chore. It was a compass. It guided him and Ellen through lean years, unexpected medical bills, and the chaos of raising 3 kids. A business needs an income statement to track what's coming in and what's going out, he said. Your budget does the same thing. It's how you know if you're living within your means or digging a hole. He walked his audience through the process with the patience of a seasoned teacher. Start with your income, he said. Your paycheck, that side gig driving for Uber, the $50 you made selling old furniture. Every dollar counts. Write it down. Then list your expenses: rent, groceries, car payment, that gym membership you never use. Be honest. If you're spending $200 a month on coffee, own it. Put it on paper. Bill shared a story about a coworker from his accounting days, a man named Greg, who earned a solid salary but was always broke. Greg thought budgeting was for poor folks, Bill said, shaking his head. Then his car broke down, and he had to borrow money to fix it. I sat him down, made him list his expenses. Turns out he was blowing $400 a month on subscriptions and eating out. Once he saw it, he cut back, started saving, and within a year, he had an emergency fund. That's what a budget does. It shows you the truth. Bill's voice grew earnest. Do this every month. Use a notebook, an app, a spreadsheet. Doesn't matter. Just track it. A business that doesn't know its cash flow is doomed. Your household's no different. A budget gives you control, and control is the first step to wealth. Number 2, the balance sheet. Your net worth tells your story. The second tool was the balance sheet, or in personal finance terms, a net worth statement. A business uses a balance sheet to see what it owns and what it owes. Bill explained. Your net worth statement is your balance sheet. It's a snapshot of your financial story, what you've built and what's holding you back. Bill described his ritual of calculating his net worth twice a year in January and July. He'd sit at his desk, a calculator in hand, and tally his assets, his savings account, 401k, the market value of his home, even the old coin collection tucked away in a safe. Then he'd list his liabilities, his mortgage, car loan, any credit card debt. You subtract what you owe from what you own, and that's your net worth, he said. It's not about feeling rich or poor. It's about knowing where you stand. He shared a raw memory from his 30s, when his net worth was a measly $2,000. We had 2 kids, a stack of bills, and a mortgage that felt like a mountain. He said, his voice softening. Seeing that number was humbling, but it was also a wake-up call. It made me realize we couldn't keep living paycheck to paycheck. We started cutting expenses, paying off debt, saving more. Year by year, that number grew, and so did our hope. Bill urged his audience to create their own net worth statement. List your assets, your savings, investments, the value of your car or home. Then list your liabilities, student loans, credit cards, that personal loan from your uncle. Do the math. If your net worth is negative, don't panic. It's just data. Use it to make a plan. Pay down high-interest debt. Build an emergency fund. Invest in a low-cost index fund. Your net worth is your equity, like a business's equity. Grow it, and you're growing wealth. He shared a story about a young woman he'd mentored, a nurse named Maria. She thought she was bad with money, Bill said. But when we did her net worth statement, she realized she had $10,000 in a retirement account she'd forgotten about. That gave her confidence to tackle her $15,000 in credit card debt. 2 years later, her net worth was positive, and she was investing. That's the power of clarity. Number 3, profits. Your discretionary income is your fuel. The third tool was profits, or, for individuals, discretionary income. Every business lives for profit, Bill said, his eyes lighting up. It's the money left over after expenses, the fuel that lets a company grow, innovate, or just survive a rough patch. In your life, that's your discretionary income, the cash you have after all your bills are paid. Bill admitted that discretionary income was a distant dream in his early years. When Ellen and I were starting out, every dollar went to diapers, groceries, or fixing that old Chevy, he said with a laugh. But as we got better at budgeting, we found ways to free up a little extra. Even $25 a month was a win. We used it to pay off debt faster, then to save, then to invest. That's how you build momentum. Your discretionary income is your profit. It's the money you can use to reinvest in yourself. Pay down that 18% credit card. Add to your Roth IRA. Buy a rental property. Fix up your home to increase its value. Whatever you do, make that money work. A business uses profit to get stronger. You should too. Bill shared a story about his son, Nate, who'd struggled with student loans after college. Nate was making decent money, but he was spending it as fast as it came, Bill said. We worked on his budget, found $200 a month he could redirect. He used it to pay off his loans early, then started investing. Now, at 35, he's got a growing portfolio and a plan to retire early. That's what discretionary income can do. It's your ticket to freedom. Bill's core message was both simple and profound. Your personal finances are your first and most vital business. I see so many folks chasing the next big thing, he said, his voice tinged with frustration. They want to start a business, launch a side hustle, jump on the latest crypto trend, but their finances at home, a mess, no budget, no savings, debt piling up. You can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation. He shared a story about a neighbor, a talented chef named Carla, who'd opened a food truck. She had the best tacos in town, Bill said, smiling. But her personal finances were chaos. No budget, maxed out credit cards. The food truck was profitable, but she was sinking because she couldn't manage her own money. I helped her set up a budget and a net worth statement. Within a year, she was paying off debt and saving for a second truck. Your home comes first. Get that right, and everything else falls into place. Bill's voice grew quieter, almost reverent. I learned this the hard way. In my 20s, I thought wealth was about flash, nice cars, big vacations, but I was drowning in debt, stressed out, snapping at Ellen over nothing. Real wealth isn't about stuff. It's about peace. It's knowing your bills are paid, your savings are growing, and your future is secure. When you run your finances like a business, you're not just surviving, you're building a legacy. Bill paused, his gaze drifting to the horizon. This isn't just about money, he said. It's about what money can do. When your finances are solid, you can help your kids go to college. You can donate to your church or a cause you love. You can travel with your spouse, make memories with your grandkids. That's why I do this, because I want you to have that freedom. He shared a memory that brought tears to his eyes. When my daughter had her first baby, we were able to fly out to California, stay for a month, and help her settle in. We didn't have to worry about money. That's what wealth gave us, time with the people we love. I want that for you. I want you to have choices, not chains. As the sun dipped lower, casting a warm glow across the porch, Bill's voice rose with urgency. You don't need to be a millionaire by Friday. You don't need to quit your job or start a business. What you need is to take charge of the business you've got. Your finances. Start today. This week, sit down and make a budget. Write down every dollar in, every dollar out. Next month, do a net worth statement. See where you stand. Then, every month, find a little profit, $10, $50, whatever you can, and put it to work. Pay off debt, save, invest. That's how you build wealth, one smart, steady step at a time. He leaned back, his face breaking into a wide, hopeful smile. I'm 65. And I'm telling you, the best thing I ever did was treat my finances like a business. It gave me and Ellen a home, a retirement, and the freedom to live on our terms. It let us spoil our grandkids without checking our bank account. You can have that too, but you've got to start now. Not next month, not next year, right now. Bill's eyes sparkled with conviction. Imagine this. A year from now, you've got a budget that works, a net worth that's growing, and a little extra cash each month to build your future. You're sleeping better, stressing less, dreaming bigger. That's what's waiting for you. All it takes is one step, so take it. Open that notebook, download that app, make that budget. You're not just managing money, you're building a life. As I always say, the best person to take care of the older you is the younger you. So get out there, take charge, and let's build something that lasts. Thank you for taking the time to listen and walk alongside us. We hope today's story touched a quiet corner of your heart. Hold on to that feeling. And if you found even a spark of inspiration, we invite you to stay with us for the next stories to come. Each journey we share carries a message, a ray of hope, and perhaps it's exactly what you or someone you love needs right now. We'll see you again in the next story, where together we continue to share, to heal, and to move forward with hearts full of courage and hope.